Hello everybody, it's the 22nd of March, and as you saw from that picture, I've just spent 5-10 minutes clearing off the surface of this pot of my Windswept Hawthorn, which is growing away now. It only went into this pot this time last year, so I'm not repotting it, but I do want to unwire it because it's been wired all winter and it's about to grow. I thought I'd trimmed off all the spikes, but I've just found one with my thumb, which is a bit unpleasant. As always, I'm unwrapping the wire. I know a lot of the books and the experts tell you should cut the wire, but I've always thought that's incredibly wasteful. And as always, I've used the wire longer than the actual was needed, so that I've now got a usable length for another tree. I really need to buy wire because I rarely run out. Okay, so be interesting to see. So I haven't even touched this branch for spikes. I shall have to remove them at some point soon, but I won't bore you with that. I think about it, I didn't get very far at all with removing these spikes. In fact, it looks like I started and then wandered off distracted like. I don't know if you can see that, but it's full of spikes and they're vicious. Interestingly, unlike a lot of trees that are what they call apically dominant, which means that they grow stronger at the top of the tree than they do at the base, this tree, and I don't think it's typical of all, well, certainly not typical of all my hawthorns, and I have a few. This tree is proper shooted at the bottom of the tree, but the buds are only just breaking at the top, so that's unusual. It might or might not make a huge difference, but it's something to be aware of when I'm thinking about future stylings and things of this tree. Cooper seems to have gone in. I suspect he'll be out in a minute because my stomach's starting to rumble. Apologies if you can hear that. So I suspect his will be soon also. He has a very reliable time clock for when he thinks it's lunchtime. Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely going to have to go around and cut off the spikes. I must have dreamt it, or perhaps I did it to a different tree. That's more than likely what's happened. So there we are, the tree's unwired. I'm going to make this a Timey Wimey video. I'm going to remove that piece that's going now in the wrong direction. I want this tree to resemble ones that have had a constant driving wind in that direction. So I'm just going to nip back a few of these long pieces. I'm quite happy that the tree seems to have taken those wirings quite well. Proofs in the pudding, it's in the eating, and it'll be interesting to see whether it all springs back by this time tomorrow, but I don't think it will. That piece I'm going to shorten slightly. Okay, so there we have it. The tree's still a bit loose in the pot, and I had a little stake, there it is, a little wooden stake which only job is to hold it upright while the roots get into the substrate. And then last job today, a good handful of continuous release fertiliser, not too much, I don't want to burn the roots and overfeed them. Mix that into the top layer. I might even come back later and add a bit more fresh, and that's the tree set up for spring. It's the 18th of April now, and the tree is growing very well. The top has finally started to catch up with the lower branches. Still got a few buds that are only just bursting here on the tip, but it's starting to grow, so it won't be long before I can actually do a little bit of work on some of these long branches that are starting to shoot. But I'm going to leave it a little while longer. It's the 15th of May, and I've been letting my Windswept Hawthorn just sort of grow out. Still quite wobbly in the pot, so I have it supported by this stake, which keeps the movement to a minimum, allowing the roots to develop. I've been letting it grow out, and as you can see, it's looking very healthy and green. But what I want to do now is to put some movement into these branches before they get too firm. Hawthorn will bend quite readily when it's young, but as soon as its the term is lignifies, then the shoots can become very brittle and stiff and hard to get any shape into. So I'm going to start with these top two branches here, and I'm going to try and put a little bit of shape into them. Try not to catch the leaves. I'm not wiring right to the end, because I'm going to shorten them. Come on, leaf. That's it. Okay, I'm going to pinch out that growing tip, and I'm going to nip out that, and then I'm going to put some snaky bends. Hawthorn look good when they're nice and contorted, and as I say, whilst it's at this stage, then they will take the bends without breaking, and as I said earlier in the video, I'm aiming for winds blowing in that direction, or the prevailing wind is blowing in that direction. going to try and put some movement into this low branch, the lowest branch, and that'll, I think, then I can call it a day on this one. It won't take long for these pieces to harden up and set, as it were, so I'll have to keep quite a close eye, but I'll be able to remove the wire fairly soon. As I say, once this new shoot becomes woody, it'll set in this sort of weird and wonderful flowing movement that I'm trying to impart. I think this is going to be a tree that is always going to look its best in the winter when it's bereft of foliage. I can see there's a little bit of congestion going on, so I'm going to take off a branch. You can find its origin point. I managed to stab myself with one of the spines. Okay, I think that'll be enough for this one. So there we go. Let's nip at that growing point there. That's the tree all wired up, and I'm pretty much happy with the overall size and scale of the tree, so it's just about the ramification as well, adding some of the illusion of wind blownness. And so we'll put that on the bench and let it grow away. Keep an eye on it for those wires, but for now I'm going to give you a quick 360. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I do really appreciate it. Do the YouTube things, the liking, the subscribing, comment below, but most of all, please stay safe, everybody.